Amiga and C64 presents a Playguide and video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi there, welcome to another Lemon64 Playguide and review, and this will be our last Playguide and review for a while. And in this show we'll be taking a look at Mad Mix Game, also known as Mad Mix Game The Pepsi Challenge, developed by TopoSoft and released by US Gold in 1988. The Mad Mix game is an overhead Pac-Man clone, and just like Pac-Man we have to collect all those dots, and on the title screen we are presented with some great music and perhaps the best part of that game. And yes, I have loaded this game up just to hear that music all the way through. On the title screen we can play either using the joystick in port 1 or port 2, and we can also use the keyboard as well. So that saves us swapping the joystick around, but we can also press the 4 key and that will start this game. So let's press that, let's check this game out. This game introduces the player with a very Pac-Man-like 3D maze, and in the corners of which you'll find a power pill in order to remove one of the ghosts floating around that level. See, the green ghost is very tenacious and he will follow you around, but luckily he cannot catch up with us. But unluckily, unlike Pac-Mania, we cannot press fire and jump out of the way. When we are red, it means that we can take on those guys, and of course I'm saving those power pills in the corners, so that makes that job much easier. And this is virtually a clone of classic Pac-Man, and you can see that this is a classic rip-off, but as we shall see later on, we have added lots of effects and extra features to really expand this game. It really doesn't take long to clean up those dots on the first level, and you can see we start the game with 4 lives and there is a basic score in the bottom corner, and so it's just like any other Pac-Man clone at this stage. With each level, the program will give you something different to do, and in this case it's following those dots around a predefined path, and if you hit that predefined path, that will take you all the way around. And you may notice a special icon on the very top of that screen, that's a hippo. If we collect that, it will mean that we can stomp these guys pretty quickly, stomp around that level. That's just an extra power pill and something comical, but we cannot deviate our path when we are following these things, so it's a one-way route. And we can also collide with this thing that gives us a gun that we can fire and remove those ghosts that way. So it does add something to the standard Pac-Man formula, and actually I did play this quite a lot in the day and I did get far. Unfortunately we won't be getting too far in this playthrough. I feel it's a pity that that great music doesn't carry over onto this game itself, because without the power pills being munched it's quite slow and quite lazy on the music and the sound effects front. But on the playability side, these early levels certainly stand up, and it encourages the player by introducing things level by level, stage by stage. And unfortunately this game wraps around itself. It is not completable, it simply wraps around to the first level. If you get through the total number of levels, which I'm not quite sure of, but if the player gets to a certain checkpoint, in the UK version, a certain score, that will trigger the Pepsi Challenge. And this game was licensed in the UK with Pepsi, and in other countries it was simply known as the Mad Mix game. But you can see the Pepsi logo on the bottom of that screen as we head on to the third level, and you can also see the Topo logo, the Spanish Topo company, copyright 1988 of course. And so this game under the surface is pretty basic, but as I say, I did have fun with this at the time. And here we are on level 3. You may notice special traps, and those are one-way doors. We can only fall over those one way. As long as we go through those, that's fine, but sometimes we can be trapped inside someplace if we don't have those doors aligned correctly. And again, we cannot take away those pills on that long march because that only flows one way. So we'll have to eat one of these power pills and see if we can loop around this level and find that path, all those score pills. On this level there is also a ladybird bug, and you will hear a special noise whenever one of those shadows has been refilled with a dot. That ladybird will refill all those dots if you don't let it and don't stomp that thing. There it is. And that special noise means you'll have to go behind that thing, collect all those dots all over again. So when we restart, you can see some of those have to be collected all over again thanks to that ladybird. And that means when we die, we'll still have to collect a number of, well, should have collected that power upgrade there, but we can collect a number of those. And as you can see, it doesn't send the player all the way back. This game was coded by Jesus Medina. He began with Whopper Chase, which was a burger tie-in game for Airbay software in 1987, moving on to Silent Shadow in 1988, and after this he created Metropolis in 1989. The graphics were created by Roberto Acebes, and no information can be found on him. The design was Rafael Gomez. All these guys are Spanish, of course, and the music was Cesar Ostudillo, and he also worked with Jesus Medina on Metropolis for Topo in 1989. You can see this game is, well, it's a plain rip-off, and I remember playing this game as a pastime back in the day. It certainly was something that was easy to get into and easy to get a score from without getting too frustrated, except for yourself not collecting all those upgrades. And this game had a very mixed bag of scores, but unfortunately on the low side. Commodore User gave this 30%, the Games Machine gave it 43%, Zzap gave it 48%, and Ace gave it 49%. They all complained that it was very thin on substance, and unfortunately they did not see the advantages of the later levels, which encouraged the player with tanks that they can drive and spaceships they can fly and things like that. But unfortunately this was run of the mill according to them, which gives the average score, unfortunately, 4.5 out of 10. But the current score on Lemon 64 is actually 6 out of 10, and I had this on the Zzap Meg tape and certainly enjoyed that, and again loaded that up just for the music. I really did enjoy that. For some reason I gave that a high score, but perhaps for me it would only get a 6.5 simply because there are better Pac-Man clones on the C64. So that puts the score up there, maybe up to 5 out of 10. But I think it deserves something at least for this music. The titles may even encourage you to waggle your body along with the music. And this was the days before creatures came along and made the three voices sound immaculate. These three voices sound in particular like building music, and nowadays it doesn't really sound so great, but in the 1980s it really did. It sounded modern and futuristic and very funky. Thank you once again for viewing another Lemon 64 Playguide and review.